90-day welcome again to our capacity building session with our 90-day planning schedule with Rosalind. So I'm delighted to be able to share with you Rosalind today. She's been mentoring us in Ireland for over a year now, and the I'm not a person for planning, but after Rosalind's guidance and support and helping me to focus, we've really come on leaps and bounds. So I'm excited for what she's going to share today. She's a certified coach. She's a group facilitator with more than 20 years experience. And she's the founder of Real Radiant Life. And she turns out an amazing newsletter every week, which is full of authentic, incredible inspiration. So without further ado, Rosalind, I would like you to pass over the buck to you. Welcome, Rosalind.
The buck. Hi, everyone. It's a delight and a privilege to be running this session for you on 90-day plans. The driving force behind it really is because as you all know, we're living in a world where change is taking place very rapidly. It's accelerating at a huge space, especially with artificial intelligence. And as leaders within organizations, there's the pace at which change is taking place and the ability of humans to adapt to that change are no longer aligned. And so we've got to find more innovative ways, really, of leading and taking action and making the kind of impact that we're wanting to make in the world, especially Women's Federation for World Peace. And we know that we live in a world where peace is increasingly being challenged. So without further ado, what I'd like to do is just very quickly do a presencing exercise, because you've all maybe come in from work, you've been in the kitchen, you've been at your desk and you've just jumped off. So just so that you can disconnect from whatever it was that you were doing before joining the session, and so that we can have a focused 90-minute session. So for this bit, you can have your video on or off. So it's really just to get the body working. So just you can stand or you can sit, you can take your arms up and stretch. Reach your right arm up, reach your left arm up, twist to your right. Well, not with the chair, twist to your left, fold over, come back up, reach up. That's it. And then just shake your body, shake your body, shake your body. Your head, just really shake. Good. And then take your left arm out and just quite strongly pat your arm all the way down to the fingers. Then palm up, go all the way up your arm. Then do the right one. You're stimulating your lymph glands and your energy. Pat your chest, your back. Work your way down your body. Do your legs. Do your feet, everything good. Stand up and just really shake. Yeah. And then once you've done that, you've really stimulated the aliveness inside of the body. And I just want you now to sit with your feet on the floor. Close your eyes if you wish. And now take a deep breath in. And then a long exhalation out. Just really empty the lungs. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And again, breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale to a count of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more time. Inhale, count to 4. And then do a long exhalation, taking the system into more parasympathetic mode, the relaxation mode. Okay, so hopefully you've all disconnected from everything. I would encourage you actually for this call to have your videos on, because one of the things that we're aiming to do is to build connection between you all as leaders within WP, And especially when we go into breakout rooms, I think it will be encouraging to everyone to be able to see each other as you are the primary leader. So don't be shy. It's nice for us all to see who everyone is rather than just a name on the screen. So, so what we're going to do next, actually, I'm going to ask Mitty to give a short explanation of why this session is taking place. And as I've said, the world is changing rapidly, and as leaders, we're all called on to be cognizant of that. And also, we need to look at how we may need to change the way that we lead in order to be able to be effective in the world. And as the primary leaders within Europe, you're really the people who are going to shape the future of WFWP in Europe, because in your different countries, you're the ones who will be driving whatever change is going to be required. And part of the reason why we're having this session is that we can find, because we're volunteers as well, is to find a way to be able to plan, and even more than the planning, to be able to take the action that's going to be necessary to meet the goals and the outcomes that are required for the organization to survive. Because with the change that's going on, we will need to do things differently so that WFWP can continue to blossom and to serve all of the people out there who need our support. So, Mitty, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Roslyn. Good evening, everybody. Good to see you all. Yeah, I'm really and pleased that Roslyn volunteered to take this session. She asked me about a year ago to do this myself, and actually I didn't understand it enough. So the fact that she's going to share it with us today, I'm so happy. And one of our interns, her name's Mallory, she deals with the social media, and she's following this 90-day plan. And she sent her plan to us, and it was very amazing that every week she's scheduled in what she wants to do, and then she executes it, and then it's amazing to see the progress. But the main reason for this, as the Women's Federation leadership, as we know, in Madrid, we decided to have more of a streamline our work a little bit more, and also to build up our leadership capacity. For example, with ChatGTP, we wanted to give sessions on that, how to use that so we can be more effective in our report giving, and also about funding applications. And this is a great opportunity to talk about planning goal settings. I think without that, it's really difficult because we need to know our destination, where we're going. Each one of us has our unique situation in our countries, and we have our own teams as well, so that I think the best way is that we have an overview of a plan that we can use, and then we can evaluate, and also we can see how much our activities are making a social impact or not. And we can see our key indicators, how much we are progressing in the organization. So I really think this 90-day plan is a really good opportunity. As we mentioned in Madrid, that we wanted to focus on 2 points this year. One was the education section, and the other was funding. As you know, that funding is the backbone of an organization. We really need that in order for us to execute our projects, programs, and then also to expand. We're very fortunate to have all of you as volunteers. I'm so grateful for that. At the same time, we want to kind of move away a little bit in a different stream as well. So having this opportunity to come together, I think it's not going to be like one-off thing. We need to consistently have these kind of 90-day plans. This time we're going to focus on funding, because I think that's the main essential area that we need to break through to. Some of the chapters here in the UK and also in Europe, we've already sent some applications out now. And somehow we're gearing our mind towards that. So one or two nations hopefully can break through, and through that we can learn and check the way you all set it up. So I'm very grateful to Roslyn. She has a vast experience in management, marketing, and also she's been a great support for, as Amanda mentioned, for the Irish chapter to take form and development. The website is up and running, and also there's so many other things that Roslyn and Jude have been helping the Irish chapter, but I think this can be replicated to all the other nations as well. So I'm grateful to each and every one of you for coming on. And so please, any capacity building sessions, I think it's good opportunity to take the chance to learn and hone in our skills. Yeah. So thank you so much. Back to you, Roslyn.
Okay, thank you very much, Nitin. So now you understand this is all about focusing on how within your country, your region, you're going to be able to bring more funds into the organization. So, but before we dive into the plan, I want you to spend a few moments to think about what it is that you're wanting to gain from the workshop, and also how you need to be to get that outcome, and any support or resources that you're going to need. So we'll do it as one group, and I'm going to use an approach that comes out of systemic modeling, looking at how we work with systems. And there are three specific questions that I'm going to ask you to answer. The first question is going to be, for this workshop to be just as you would like it to be, the workshop will be like what? And then I'll give you a few minutes to think about that. And then once you've thought about that, how do you need to be in order to create that particular outcome that you would like? So you take ownership for the outcome. And then finally, what support or resources will be required? And then we will all get a sense of everyone else's expectations, where there's alignment, where there isn't alignment, as we go through the workshop specifically. So I'm just going to share the slides again. Okay, you can now see. Okay, there. So these are the three questions, so you can read them for yourself. So let's start off with the first one. So just, you'll have 30 seconds or so to think about it. For this workshop to be just as you would like it to be, the workshop will be like what? So yeah, grab a pen, grab a bit of paper, and then just jot down just a word or two, because we don't have a lot of time to spend on it, but I think it's very beneficial, because then you'll know what it is that you want to take away. So a word, a couple of sentences on what you would like from this workshop. Oops. One moment. Okay, and then for the second part, and when the workshop is like that, whatever you said, how do you choose to be so that you can create or co-create that outcome? So in the next 75 minutes or so, how do you choose to be? So this can be the kind of workshop, and you can get the outcome that you would like. Okay, and for the workshop to be how you would like it to be and for you to be how you want to be, is there any support or resources that you will need for yourself, from others in the room? Support or resources could be material, immaterial, anything that you will need. Okay, so just a few more seconds to finish that off. And I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, so in the chat, because there are quite a number of us, I think if you could, in the chat, just write your answer to the first bit, the word or a phrase for the workshop to be just as you would like it to be. It will be like what? So who's going to be the first brave person to enter how they want the workshop to be? Like, I would like it to be educational and inspiring. Yep, you can say it or you can pop it in. We're only going to have time for 2 or 3 people to share verbally. So if everyone else could just pop their answers in the chat, that would be great. So go ahead, Marta. It's fine to open and say
It's
it
better
verbally.
to write. It's better to write. It's better to write because what I would like to expect it was like the workshop to be a training how to get funds. How can we get funds? Something that you can train as the ways, many ways we could get it.
Okay, so you'd like it to be a training to get funds, how to get funds.
Yeah.
And okay, so thank you for that,
Thank you.
Marta. And some people, I've got life-changing from Amanda. I'd like it to be informative and practical from Kafilwe. Vigdis has said, get the framework, listen to get ideas. Come into me clear and practical, find some small, concrete, simple steps to move forward. Structure, plan in a fun way from Britta, practical from Mitty, informational with new ideas. Anything else? But can you begin to see the pattern? So most of you wanting it to be practical, to get some ideas, some simple steps, inspiring, honest, revealing, progressive, Lily has just added. Okay, so that's useful to know. So we're all more or less on the same page. So next one, how do you choose to be so that you can get those type of outcomes? So number 2, how do you choose to be? Pitch in from Mitty. Open-minded, creative, challenging, open. This is important because this is where you take ownership, because this is your workshop. Oh, somebody did it all previously. Optimistic, open, educational, attentive. Okay, great. So attentive, educational, open, optimistic. You choose to be challenged. I think challenged, Priscilla, challenging, challenged, creative. So that's how you need to be. And then is there any support or resources that you're going to require? Just for the workshop, not outside of it. Whilst you're here with everyone, what support or resources are you going to require? So I'm going to need the support of everyone on the call. So that's support or resources, safe space, non-judgmental, inclusive, great, thank you, honest, respectful, ambitions. Any other support that you're going to need? It could be things like make sure you've got water to drink, that's a support, trust, clarity, permission, money, teamwork, time. Okay, so that's great. Thank you all for sharing that, because I think it's important to know why you're here, what it is that you want to get out of it, and how you're going to be, okay, in order to get those outcomes. And so that leads me to say that this is going to be a very interactive workshop, okay? So my intention isn't to be the expert on the stage or the sage on the stage, just delivering information to you, because there is a tremendous amount of wisdom and knowledge and information on this call right now. And so the purpose is for us all to tap into our experience, tap into your own Howard Group knowledge, so that you come up with some of the answers that you're going to need moving forward. So you're going to call on your experiences, call on your strengths, because those are some of the things that are going to be required to be able to move forward and operate in a way that may feel a little alien to you, for example, or to think in fresh ways. And so what we're going to do next is to really start to think about your own wisdom and what it is that you're thinking to do in order to help to shape the way forward for the Women's Federation for World Peace. It's called a choreography. It's a process, which is a connect process. It's a process that also does two things. Its intention is to help for everyone to connect with each other, but also for you to start to think about what you're going to be able to contribute, okay, in order for any plan that you create to be implemented and to be effective. So the way this is going to work is that you're going to be given a question, okay? And I'll put the question up in a moment. Then I'm going to divide you into, we'll call it a breakthrough room instead of a breakout room, because this is a space to have breakthroughs. So you're going to go into breakthrough rooms with 2 people in the room. And then once you're in the room, you're going to have the question, and then each person is going to ask the question of the other person. So you decide who goes first. The first person asks the question, and then it's also about listening. And then the person who asks the question then listens for the answer that's given and jots down a few notes of what their fellow breakout room friend, sister, gives. Then you switch, and the next person asks the question, and then the other person gives the answer. And again, both you're listening and you're recording that information. At the end, when person A has finished listening to what person B says, then what person A is going to do is do a small appreciation. So they're going to say something like, oh, let's say this is Sonia and Liz. You can say, oh, Liz, when you mentioned that XYZ occurred, that was very inspiring for me, because it made me really want to do more for the organization, or it reminded me of a strength that I had that I'd forgotten that existed inside of me. And that's just acknowledging, okay, your partner. And then person B goes, and at the end, when person A finished speaking, person B does the same thing, just a short appreciation. So you're only going to be in the breakout rooms for 7 minutes. Okay, so you've got 3 minutes or thereabouts each. And it's not a, when you're in the breakout rooms, it's not a conversation. Okay, so you're not going to be having a nice chat. Oh, good to see you. I've not seen you for a long time. And the intention also isn't to, when you're answering the questions, you have to keep them quite concise. So you're not going, it's not your TEDx talk where you're going to, give reams of information. So you have to be quite focused in your answers, all right? So that we can get the most out of this. So Amanda will give you a chance to set up the breakout rooms, and I'm just going to go to share again and show you the question, so you can have a few minutes just to think about it. Well, you'll have about not a few minutes, about 1 minute. So this is a question. And you're going to do this in pairs. What is it about helping to shape the future of WFWP that is important, meaningful, or purposeful for you? So why is it important for you to be here, for example, doing this now? And why is it important for you? Why is it important for WFWP? Why is it important for others? It could be your family, your friends, sponsors, others you're trying to help, or for the entire world. Okay. And Amanda will pop this question in the chat also, so that you have access to it during the session. So just give you a few moments, a minute, to just have a think about that. I'd recommend that you grab a pen and you just make jot down a few words, so when you go into the breakout room, you're prepared to start asking and answering the questions. And there's no right or wrong, okay? It's non-judgmental. Whatever is said is valid. So don't feel under pressure to achieve anything. You're simply thinking about, well, why is it important? Because you're going to be helping to shape the organization. Any questions on that? Is that clear for everyone? Yep. Okay, Amanda, over to you.
Okay. So 7 minutes, Roslyn,
Yes,
in
please.
each of the rooms. Okay, so I will assign you all to your rooms now. I will hopefully assign you to your rooms.
Yeah, you need to click on join
Yes.
to go into the breakout room. Okay, looks like everyone's there. Krista.
Dina, do you have a thing to press join? And Merle. Roslyn, where can I find that question? That seems to be a different question to the one we were looking at before. Oh no, this is it. Connect in your pairs, 10 minutes.
Yes.
Is that it? That's it. Okay, cool.
Yes.
So, and then into
Is
the
it Merle? Are you there, Merle? Merle or Merle? Merle. Are you there, Merle? Priscilla? Okay, I'm not sure if they are actually.
I'm here. Sorry, I was muted and I joined the breakout room, but then I didn't hear the person I was supposed to be talking to, so I came back to.
Oh, right. So maybe you were with Merle, because Merle, are you there? Maybe you're with there's someone who's a Zoom user.
No, it was with someone with the orange. I didn't get the person's name though, but it was with the
All
orange.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I think what we'll maybe just pop Priscilla into one of the other rooms, so there'll be one group of 3.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Bye, Priscilla.
So pick a room, Priscilla, 1 to 8.
Also, you can put maybe Merlin there as well. A room.
Five.
Yeah, just
5.
just
Okay.
pop Merlin to a room.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Priscilla is gone.
to 5. And Merly, where is Merly on?
There she is.
Yeah, I can't see her on the.
Hello, Merly.
Hi,
Hello,
Mel.
but I'm outside and maybe it will become noisy, so
It's okay, I
Yeah, we'll
think.
just put you in a room. You can.
Yeah, because
yes.
it's important for you to
Yeah.
participate in
So
this
if you could
also.
join room 7, I'll put you back in there.
Sure,
Oh, it's
thank you.
actually now room 7's disappeared. So
Any room is okay, Amanda.
yeah,
Yeah.
into 8. So I think Laura is also, I'll put her into 2. I don't know.
You've got to move just
Yeah,
for
you
you
done
to
it.
Is
get
everybody gone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Good.
I don't know how to put the chat in. Well done, Roslyn. That was
I think
excellent.
what you can do next time is ask them just take a photo on their phones for the questions if they're going back into
Yeah.
a group.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that next time.
Right. Meanwhile, how would I put that chat? You know, when I'm going
So
into
you
the
just
chat
bring the chat up, and it should
chat
say for
settings.
everyone,
Okay.
and you just paste into the chat.
Okay.
So if someone hasn't written it down or recorded it, they've got it.
Anyway.
The answer should be interesting for you, Mitch.
So it just doesn't give me options to paste into the chat.
Do Control V. Try that.
Yeah, okay.
See if that works.
It just says chat, and it doesn't. Oh, hold on, here we go. I've got it. Control V. Hopefully this does it. Did you get that?
Yeah.
You've put lots.
What?
Yeah, that's fine. Great, thank you.
Is that everything?
Yeah, probably get rid of the tech and code
Where does it
checklist.
say? Where's that? Tech and Co. Oh, how could I?
It's not dire. The questions there, I think most people have
Yeah,
got that
it'll be all
down.
right.
Yeah. We may have to give an extra couple of minutes because one couple of groups have got 3 people.
Okay. Anyway, I'll have to leave it now. It's just forget that. Okay.
Yeah, don't worry. Because this bit is important because there's no point doing a plan if people
We
are
are
not
getting
quite
recorded,
clear.
aren't we? Maybe I should just pause it.
Oh yeah, pause the recording, yes. Close off now.
Okay. So, okay. All right. All participants have been given 30 seconds to leave their breakout rooms.
Mhm. Hi everyone, welcome back.
Didn't give us much time, Rosalie.
No. It's just to get your thinking going. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hope you had fun in the breakout room, started to get insights, discoveries. Is everyone back now? Okay, so what we'll do now is provide the opportunity for your voices to be heard in the main room now. So if you would, it's not mandatory to share, but if you would like to share preferably what your partner said, so long as it's not confidential. So if somebody feels it's confidential, then they can just let you know. But just share a word, a phrase of what your partner actually said. We only have time to take maybe 2 to 3 people. So if you would be to digitally put your hands up. On the menu, you have the react option. And then if you click on that, you'll see raise your hands. Can you all see that on the react? So if you want to share, just, yeah, so Renate, go ahead, open the mic.
My
and
partner
share.
said, I don't say who it was, but she said the Women Federation is a way to build a better society for future generations. And she wants to invest everything she can to be on this line.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Anyone else who'd like to share? Thank you, Renate.
Lily, would you like to share for us?
Oh,
I was very moved that Marcia mentioned that she wants to conquer the hearts of women, to serve society, to create a world of peace and harmony, to impact people to live a happier and fulfilled life. And she's a bit challenged by the 90-day planning, that it's not something that we're accustomed to doing. And I would also resonate with that as well.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I don't know. She has to mention what she said and what the other lady said, right?
Yes. That's if she has that information.
She does.
Mate, do you want to share?
Yes, but what I would like to share, it was what I picked up from the explanation of my partner. Because when she was explaining why she was working with and shaping for WFWP, what called my attention, it was that she said, there is nothing I can do for others, but I can inspire others. So this went in my heart, because I know that if the other people do something, we cannot do anything for them. They have to. But if we can do good things, we can inspire the other people. Yeah.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And please feel free to enter in the chat, okay, your own information on how you feel that you would like to shape as a leader, how you can shape, because we'll capture that information and then I'm going to summarize everything and provide that for you afterwards, because this information is really, really important. And so the key things that I've heard from what was just shared is that building a better society, investing in everyone, to conquer the heart of women, to create a peaceful, harmonious society, inspire others, because we can't do things for others, but we can inspire them to take action. And of course, there's a challenge in creating the 90-day plans, because that's new. It's not something that's been done before. So please do make use of the chat and just pop in there anything else that you may want to add. Okay. Any questions that anyone has from what we've done so far? Okay, great. Now we're beginning. So women meeting women, supporting each other. Our documentation of the history of WFWP Europe, maintaining YouTube channel, the upkeep of social media channels, recruiting younger supporters. Yep, those are important issues in terms of the organization moving forward as well. We need to encourage men also to change and renew themselves, move away from unhealthy patterns, good practices from other countries who work at the UN, concern about archiving, respect for legacy, finding young people who can carry on this legacy. So this is wonderful. So thank you all for
sharing this information. So we're going to continue on this frame with another process, which you're also going to do in pairs, which is going to allow you to start to think about planning. So you're not going to plan yet because you're going to think about the change that's going to be required. So this is going to be an interview. It's called a paired interview. It comes out of appreciative inquiry, which is a model or methodology which looks at working with our strengths. So the intention with this is to look at and start to identify your own strengths and how you can use those strengths to help to shape the future of the organization. And we'll get an idea of the strengths of each other and how you can work together as a European team to create the kind of change that is required. So the way this is going to work is that you're going to have, so it's going to be an interview, okay? And there's going to be two people interviewing each other. If you want, oh, you can't see what I'm writing, can you? Can you see? What you need to do to see the flip chart is to pin me, because you won't be able to read it in the main chat. So what you're going to, so groups of two, and you're going to have 3 questions. Okay, again, you'll be in pairs. Person A will ask person B question 1, question 2, and question 3, and then do the appreciation. So it's a literal interview, and so person A has to listen, jot down notes, because in order to do the appreciation, you normally have to jot down some notes. And then person B is going to do the same thing. They're going to ask person A the 3 questions and do the appreciation. Okay. And then once that's done, we'll come back into the main room again and see what you've discovered. Now the questions, I'll just share the slide again for that. Okay. So these are going to be the questions. So it's a year from now, and you're looking at funding for WFWP, particularly your country or where you're responsible, and you and your team are going to be celebrating. So in terms of funding, what are you going to be celebrating? So be specific. So in terms of funding, is it going to be donors that you've acquired, certain amount of money that you want to make for your country during that time, those type of things? What did your team achieve on funding? And even you know, education, I put here as well, but Mitty wants you to focus on funding for this session. So that was. And what did you personally do at the start to set it in motion? So a year from now, things have gone way better than you even imagined or hoped, and you're celebrating. What will you be celebrating specifically? What did your team achieve on funding? What did you personally do at the start to set everything in action? And Amanda will pop this into the chat. You'll have a bit longer for this one. So we'll have 16 minutes. You'll have 7 minutes each. And remember, again, it's not a conversation, especially with this interview. It's not a conversation. You decide who's going to go first. You ask question 1, person answers. You then go straight into question 2. They answer. You go straight into question 3. you make some notes, and then you acknowledge something you appreciated, that they said, a gift in what they said that for you was a gift, whatever resonated with you, and then you immediately just switch over. So each person gets an equal amount of time. Within your pairs, do track the time. So once 7 minutes is up, it's up. So if you've not finished, you just move on, because you can come back and complete it at a later date. So jot down some notes, do your own timing, and I will see you back in about 14 minutes. You've got 2 minutes of contingency. So has everyone got that? So Amanda, would you please drop that in the chat again?
Okay, so
Yeah, no.
Hi everyone. Welcome back, welcome back. Their song. Okay. So I hope you had fun in your breakout rooms and lots of insights. Again, there is. Okay, Renata, thank you for joining. I'll send a summary out afterwards. So it would be wonderful to discover what insights, what came up in your breakthrough rooms, what ideas you've started to generate, so that we again just start the thinking process going, start to look at the different ways in which you're all thinking of creating more funding. So again, on the React, you have the option to raise your hand. So if you want to share, it's not mandatory, then please click on raise your hands. I think this time just share your own ideas or whatever came up for you during your interview. You could even also share something that someone else said that you really appreciated and thought was really helpful. So fire away, Victis. Thank you for being brave and starting us off. You're muted, Victis.
Now you hear me. So, of course, being with Lily, it's all about social media, isn't it? and but she specifically mentioned about creating a clearer membership system that is kind of what you call it, yeah, like monthly subscription, like you do basically, so that we can have a more substantial income coming that way from memberships, both, I would say, individually and maybe as organizations also. But and for that to happen, we need to be visible out in the world. So, like, of course, Lily is so far focusing in Austria with the UN and putting their events on the YouTube and on Instagram and so on. But, also as she was talking, I feel this we can learn a lot, and we can do as a Women's Federation Europe and Middle East and get a clearer way of things in social media. Of course, we have the website and we have the Facebook, but we need the structure behind it somehow.
Thank you.
She said a lot of things, but that's what I share now.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Vigdis. So be more visible and clearer membership system with monthly subscription, because that's a way of bringing in more substantial income. Does anyone have any other ideas that's different from that came up in your interview? You can just open your mic or raise your hands. Okay, Britta.
here now. I can't find the right sign to raise my hand. Anyway, yes, it was very liberating that it was a year ahead, because both me and Marta, we started out with problems now, you know. So, and similar actually, even if Marta has a lot of VIPs and kind of professional people, but so it's actually to find a way to motivate members to wanting to be part of like an active participation, and that way be inspired and motivated is like a big thing. But then we also found that we actually, when we talked a year ahead, what we want to see then is actually functioning teams like that. That's a vision we share, to have the people that want to come to events or who want to have, for example, Marta as a speaker, to want to be really part of the organization and to see the impact they can do through the organization. And then the second part that came also in mind is that actually the things that I'm not good at, for example, that kind of scares me to write EU projects, for example, or any kind of projects, because it takes so much, not just time and effort, but also how to do it. There are actually people that are kind of coming in through the sides that can do that. And to be able to see that, the kind of expertise or the kind of skills that new members have, or that are members we already have, that they're not even aware of, that they can do things like actually much better in some ways than I can do myself. This is something we got inspired by, both me and Marta, I felt. Is that right, Marta? So very inspiring to see a year ahead. Yeah, will happen. Thank you.
So, thank you. So very inspiring to see a year ahead what can happen, and motivating members to participate more actively, have functioning teams, so people come to events and have an impact through the organization. Did you also comment on how that might bring in more funding into the organization?
Yeah, we talked a little bit also about the monthly payments from them. I have one member now who is doing this since we got a bank account in Sweden, but we didn't get so far about it. Well, through the educational programs, actually. Marta was mentioning, for example, to participate in education and be able to pay for it, for example.
Okay, so paid education programs, monthly payments also, so that connects into what Britta said as well. So anything else that's different from what's been covered in terms of bringing more funding into the organization? So we've had monthly membership subscriptions, paying for educational programs, monthly payments perhaps for other things. Any other ideas that came through?
Yes, Victor's mentioned official registration and recognition, so that even governments want to support activities, and that funding applications can be made because of official registration and recognition.
When you say official registration, what kind of official registration?
That was one of my questions that I thought, okay, does that mean as a charity? But we didn't go into detail of the discussion. That was just a point that was brought up.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. So that's official registration, recognition from governments who can also support with funding. Wonderful. Thank you. Filware, anything that's different?
Yes, something interesting that Carol mentioned was that the goal was to help get funding for education, for moral education for young girls, because that would solve their problems. But the issue would be there would be a lot of resistance if they said moral education. So they rather went the route of mental health and got their funding through mental health.
So funding through mental health rather than moral education, because mental health is quite a big topic at the moment. Excellent, thank you. Any other ideas that came up that are different from what's already been covered? Oh, so wonderful, everyone. So that's great. So and I'm just going to repeat them so that repetition helps. So membership subscriptions, monthly subscriptions, more visibility, having more structure, more social media like Instagram, YouTube for the visibility, motivation and inspiring participants being more active, and supporting, say, paid educational programs, monthly payments for events, for example, that may be put on. So I'm improvising a bit. And also official registrations, governments may be able to support, and then funding on the mental health instead of moral education. So great. Anything else that may have popped into someone's mind during that? Oksana, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, for example, when other organizations or people offering you space to hold events. So I forgot how it's in English, contributions, voluntarily contribution, in-kind contributions. And when professionals also offering their services like coaching, trainings, yeah, that's also very valuable.
Okay, so wonderful. So this is contributions in kind. So that's like free. Give us some examples of that, please, Oksana.
If you are in area with other organizations and you are networking, I'm sure you can hold your events in the hubs or community centers, collaborate together. So you're invited, and yeah, on the free or even paid base, I mean, you can raise money through offering your meetings in their places. And also you inviting the people from network to your events to speak, contribute. You can make it free, like so they giving this service for free, or you can make it paid. So you're raising money through that to your organization and to a person who contribute in teaching, for example.
Okay, so contributions in kind, like speakers may be contributing if they have topics actually that are relevant to women, because WAF have a lot of professional women. So maybe their audience, and also sometimes in kind may be free access to an event venue for free. That's another way, or professionals offering their services, complimentary volunteer on a volunteer basis. So those are also because you're saving money in those areas. You're not having to spend to get those. Okay, so those are really good ideas just to stimulate the thinking, because before you can create a plan, you have to start to get ideas. So we're getting to the plan. What time is it? 9 minutes to go. Is it okay if we go over by about 15 minutes? Is everyone okay with that? Yeah, okay. Because what I want to do next is to take you through a process. It's going to be quite fast. I'm going to do it in 5 minutes. And the intention is called an accelerator process. And the intention is to encourage you to get into more intuitive thinking, for example, to not overthink things, to not get into analysis paralysis, just to see what comes up when the question is asked, and then jotting the information down. And it's going to reflect on some of the things that you've already thought about, but we're also going to now be starting to think about what priorities may be in relation to funding, what your next steps could potentially be moving forward, just baby steps. And then I'll show you a way you can structure all of that in terms of a plan. Okay, so we're going to do this in the big group, in this main group. So just if you grab a pen and something to write your answers down with, and don't feel you need to make copious notes, just whatever comes in. And I'm going to intentionally, deliberately move quite quickly through this. Okay. So I'll give you a few moments to get ready. Just raise your hands when you're ready to go. Okay, thank you. Fiona's ready. Pivy, so I'm not sure how to say your name. Pivy's ready. Anyone else ready? Okay, excellent. All right, so grab your pen and be ready. So what we're going to do is to start to think about how we can transition into beginning to do our planning. Now, this process comes out of appreciative inquiry. It's a methodology. And as I've said, it's to get us to think very quickly, intuitively about what we may want to have happen. So you've remembered why you lead. We looked at that with the first exercise. Why is it important for you as a leader in WFWP? How can you shape the future? You just did the interview where you were looking in more detail at what could transpire in 1 year from now. Okay, and so now you're going to start to put it all together. So they're going to be five questions that I'm going to talk you through. I'll give you a couple of minutes actually on each question, so you do have some time to write down your answers and to do your best initial thinking on this, because this is just the beginning of the entire thing. So there's no pressure. Okay, just see what ideas come to you. Again, there's no right and wrong. Just write down what you're getting as an intuitive hit. Okay, so the first question is about initiating the idea. So of everything that you've imagined, you imagined just now, what is one outcome in terms of funding that would make the biggest difference to your team in the next 90 days? So what is one outcome in terms of funding that would make the biggest difference to your team in the next 90 days? Just write it down. You can pop it in the chat, but do jot it down on a sheet for yourself as well. So I'm going to be quiet for a minute so you can think about that. And when you finish, you can pop your one outcome in the chat. In fact, that's a good idea so it can be captured. Pop it in the chat. And then once you've raised your hand and stopped, I'll know that you're more or less there. So we've got networking, predictability. Funding would give us access to human resources. So what's your one outcome if those three are not yours? Collaborations. secure a deal with 2 organizations who work to help fund organizations like ours, getting our own WFWP bank account. Excellent. Any others? One outcome. So remember the regions are different sizes. So, you may have lots of team members. It may be 1 or 2 people. So you'll scale according to your members, acceleration, visibility. Okay, great. So let's move on to the next question now. So looking back at the 2 breakthrough sessions, one was related to how you can shape the future of WFWP. The other was looking at what you would want to celebrate in a year's time. So looking back at those 2 things, what's already working that you can build on? So what's already working that you can build on? It could be a relationship, it could be a small success, it could be a skill in your team, it could be a supporter who already believes in you. So what's already working that you can build on? And once you finish, you can put comment in the chat, or you can just raise your hand, lift your head, then I'll know that most of you have got that. What's already working that you can build on? AI help, artificial intelligence, support with that, clear vision, established teams, solid ongoing projects, support for the team and support from FFWPU, things that are already working, social media channels. And this is inspiring because you're not starting from scratch. There are things that are working. Appreciation by other women, lectures and values, support from Malmo team, relationships. So a theme that's emerging is collaborations, partnerships, relationships, using the networks and connections that you already have. YWSC. What's YWSC, Mitty?
Young women's speech
Oh,
content.
yes, young women.
It's established, and if we had a bit of money, we could accelerate to a huge number.
Yeah, so that's great. Things that are
Something
already
that's
working.
concrete, yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's nice to recognize what's working.
Yeah.
Okay, all ready for the next one? Stimulate ideas. Okay, so go back. So think back to the 1-year future you pictured earlier in your group. And 90 days from now, you've made real progress. What would you actually see, count, or celebrate? So thinking about your 1-year future that you envisaged, imagined, in 90 days, which is 3 months, you've made some real progress. What will you see in 90 days? What may you be able to measure or count? And what would you be celebrating in 90 days? 3 months' time. It's June, July, or by September, mid-September. One thing that you could be celebrating, counting. One bold, brave thing. More collaboration, progress. What kind of progress, Marta? And what kind of collaboration? Marthia. So what kind of collaboration, what kind of progress?
More friends wanting to collaborate with the Women's Federation work.
So more friends who want to collaborate with the Women's Federation. Can you put a number on how many friends by September?
By September,
First quarter.
I don't know, maybe 5.
Right, 5 friends collaborating in September. Jot it down.
This is wishful thinking.
But no, it's not wishful thinking. This is the point. Like, this is like 3 months, 5 friends collaborating. That's what you're aiming for. And Marta, what progress? What kind of progress are you? Because progress is a concept. You have to make it tactile, make it something that's real. So what kind of progress?
Is what I'm meaning with progress is to see WFWP in very high level of speaking or giving speeches or giving speeches on values and be recognized at that levels.
Okay, so WFWP giving speeches at the high level and be recognized at that level. And how is that going to bring in more funds?
Okay, if we are invited to speak, then we can ask for some help, some donations, for instance.
Okay, so then you can ask for some donation from the organizations you're speaking at. Okay, great. 5 friends collaborating by September 26 from Marcia, 1,000 subscribers to European newsletter by Lily, 10% paying monthly, positive media coverage, Kafilwe. All team members receiving financial compensations. Anything else about that, Oksana?
I think this is the essence because we have so many working teams in UK and each team, people contributing a lot of their time, talents, professionalism. So it would be worth if we can compensate them. Absolutely.
Okay. And what needs to happen to compensate them?
We're applying for grants.
Okay. There you go. So applying for grants, so there's money to compensate team
Yes, having
members.
sponsors, constant sponsors who can monthly contribute.
Yeah.
Yes, and membership, stable membership.
Okay, stable membership, donations, grants, and we started to apply for those. Okay, anything else on that? No, let's move on actually, because we've got the next one. But this is fantastic. You can see the ideas are beginning to come through. So now we have to start to think about, so we've looked at some measurable outcomes briefly there. So now what 2 or 3 actions would move you towards the outcome that you've mentioned? What 2, even 1 action? Let's go for just 1. What 1 immediate action might move you towards that outcome? And if you can come up with 2 or 3, then that's good. And think, who, not necessarily what or how, who could help you? Often you don't need to know the how. Who could actually help you? Who can you ask? Who can you partner with? Who can you invite? So who can you ask? Who can you partner with? Who can you ask? Like the friends that Martha mentioned, 5 friends, people you can ask. So 1, 2 or 3 actions that would move you towards your outcome. And who can help you? Who can support you? Who can you ask? In your immediate network, even. Keep it simple. Partners and ambassadors for peace in connection with
With us.
With us. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, make a plan to cooperate with Lily to invite subscribers to become members. Yep, that's Vigdis. Apply to apply 10 funding application forms for sponsors from businesses, MITI. Anything else? One action, one thing you can do. And remember, you're the president or you're in charge of your country. So when it's you, it's not just you, it's whoever else you may be working with, your team, even if it's a team of 1 or 2 or 3. Put clear requests on our media platforms for membership and sponsorship. Fill up the grant forms, Oksana. Good. Right. So the final one, what is one small step you'll take? And I want you to think about taking it now. One small step that you can take. It could be a message. It could be a call you can make. It could be something you put in your diary for an appointment. It could be a decision, you make. What's one small step that you can make now? You could call someone, WhatsApp message someone about something, have a team meeting to discuss further. Write down the name of 5 people in your network you plan to contact in the next 48 hours or week. One small thing. And then type in the chat. This is your accountability. Type in the chat what that one small thing is. I'm going to collate them. So I'm looking at how many of you want to. So I should have 17, one step that you're all going to take. One small step. Make sure it's something that's achievable. Planning the Vigdis planning the meeting with Lily. Is that in your diary, Vigdis?
Yes, Lily, is it in your diary?
So pop it in yours to say that you're going to contact Lily. Excellent. Who else? Come on, everyone. Pop these one thing in the chat. Create a weekly plan and do it. Seek support from family to free up more time. Excellent. Contact some of the connected ambassadors. Organize a small activity together. Liking this. Have a checklist, Excel sheet for tasks. Block the diary to do this action step. Promote the launch of Young Women's Speech Contest in Ireland. Amanda. Write a letter to a business to help our white Young Women's Speech Contest. One small action. Contact 3 women interested, but I haven't followed up yet, so follow up on those 3 women. Any other actions? I am going to collate it. You just have to remember to save the chat. Any other actions? Finish my LinkedIn profile, Britta. And you could borrow someone else's action. You think, oh, yeah, I can do that. If you can't think of, you've not thought, you think, oh, I could actually do that as well. Any other actions? Okay. Okay, so let's now just look at, I created a template that you can use to put this information into, and I'm just going to share it now. And it is a template, so you can take it and you can tweak it, you can change it completely, you can customize it, you can create your own template. But the key thing is you need to write things down, map it out, and then you've got a record of it. So I just need to find it in the menu. Okay, one moment. Got so many windows open. Okay, here it is. What's happening? Just a moment, everyone. I was having a problem opening this earlier. PowerPoint. Okay, right, got it. Just need to share now. Got it open. Here we go. Sorry about that. Okay, and I will get this to you, but just so you can see. So this is the template, and it's very simple. So basically, which at the top you just pop in the name of your name, team or country, size of your team, and your 90-day cycle date. And then why does this matter? Just a sentence. What difference will the 90-day cycle make for your team, for Women's Fed, for the women you serve? Pop in the one outcome that you've came up with a few minutes ago. And then think about what are the, and we looked at this also, what are the strengths, what are the things that are working that you can build on, because that may be your starting point. What does success look like for you? So that it's measurable. So it's where you're talking about numbers, 5 friends, £1,000, that kind of thing. And then very important to say what the individual action steps are going to be, who can support you, but also who owns that, who is going to be the person who is going to make sure that the action is taken and by when, so you put a timeline on it. And then what's going to be the sign that it's actually progressing or moving forward. So even if it's you're going to, your first action step is to book a meeting. So who can help with that? Who's going to, so Vigdis, for example, is owning, setting up this meeting. By when are you going to have the meeting? And then when are you, what's your sign that it's moving forward? You've had the meeting and you've got some outcomes from that meeting, for example. And then you've all put in the chat the small step that you planned, you've taken today. And then this is something I would recommend that you maybe have a team meeting, and then you just go through this and start to map out in more detail your weekly and monthly rhythms for taking action and getting things done. Can you all see my screen? Yeah,
Yes,
says I'm
yes.
sharing. Okay. So I've broken it down into weeks. So it's going to be 12 weeks. You've got some prompts to help you to fill in the information. And here also you can specify your weekly progress map, main action, who owns it, the target date, and then you give yourself a progress score. So by the end of the week, you may give it a 10 or you may give it a 2, and then you say why you've got to where you've gotten and not. So this is you tracking okay, what's taking place. And this is for 12 weeks. You don't have to map the entire thing out. You could, for instance, work on a monthly basis. So you map out the first 4 weeks, and then you track those 4 weeks, and then you map out the next 4 weeks, and you may have to bring some things over from the previous month and so on. So you work on it the way that works best for you. And this is also just some information to support you in looking at how you move things forward. So it's got like a value cycle, but for an NGO, it's more like your relationship pathway. So how do you go from someone being aware of WFWP to them becoming connected? Maybe, you know, they start following on social media, then they may start to engage and interact by asking questions, wanting more information, and then they move through to donating or subscribing or becoming a member, and then eventually paying and becoming even advocates. So I've given you some, and then team roles also you may want to look at. So who do you have in your team? Depending on the size of the country, not all of these may apply. And then here, this is the intention. So what I would recommend is the person you were people you were working with in your breakthrough groups, hopefully you've got to name each other's name. And then I recommend that you become buddies for the next 90 days, providing accountability and support. So halfway through the 90 days, which is about 6 weeks, you do a check-in. You decide on a date, you do a check-in to see how you're progressing with your plan. And then at the end of the 90-day, we have another session so we can see how's it gone, what's worked, what hasn't worked, what we may need to change. Down here, you've got worked examples to help you out. So I've just given you that so that you can take a look. So there obviously isn't time to fill that all in on a call. So I think, you know, the next step would be for your particular country or region to, I would say, set up a team meeting and get together, or you could go through it yourself first and then meet with your team, and then you brainstorm and you fill in the details so that you know what action's going to be taken, who owns it to make sure there's a result, by when you're going to do it, what's measurable, because it's important to be able to measure the outcome. Because if you can't measure it, then you don't know whether you have the result or not. And I said to Mitty, if necessary, if you would like a session to look at the 90-day plan in more detail, we can organize that. This is the beginning, and then we could work through the plan itself. So wrapping up now, in the chat, if you could just pop in the chat, what is your main takeaway from this session today? One takeaway, something that may have inspired you, something you learned, an insight that you gained from someone else. What you think is, it's all possible. Just do it, from Oksana. Thank you for starting it off. What's your takeaway? Accountability, inspiration, no procrastination, little actions, make big steps. It's possible. It is possible. Ready? Any other takeaways? And ladies, it's one step at a time, because I like the way you have organized the information. Thank you, Matsia. Be bold and creative. Because it will take courage to make the changes that are required, because you have to give of your time, you have to give of yourself, and the key thing is just to take small steps, one small action at a time, and then it's cumulative, it builds. So you organize the meeting, you have an outcome from the meeting, you start to take action on something from the meeting, and slowly, you'd be surprised over 90 days how much you can actually achieve. So it's not having something huge that seems overwhelming. It's just make it manageable steps. Open the bank account. That was one of the outcomes that came. 90 days or well before you'll have that action ticked off. Any questions? After this?
Perhaps for another session sometime.
Okay.
How to deal with resistance?
What kind of system?
Resistance.
Oh, the systems. Okay.
Resistance.
Oh,
Yeah.
resistance. Okay.
I know that one.
Resistance. Okay,
I would like a little bit more follow up on this last part that we went through very quickly now. You know, the systematic way of doing things. This is what I need.
The action cycle. Okay.
Yeah, if it's possible. Was great.
Okay, so you can have a chat with Mitty about the next media thing. I think maybe we can do the action cycle.
Okay.
So that sooner rather than later, so that you map out the plan and you can then start to take action. So we finished. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending and for staying for a little longer. Mitty, do you have any closing words? And then I'll pass on to Amanda.
Well, what can I say, Roslyn? It was so good. Like I said, I'm raring to go. Can't stop me. I've got my skates on. I hope it can be really empowering for everybody, because I think we need a little bit more focused goal setting. It's kind of a, we do it somehow, but I think when we document it and we write it down and we see the impact and the measurements of our activities, it's very rewarding as well. And I think the first breakthrough we have with finance, the accounting, that would be for everybody, actually, because that's what we're really focusing on. So thank you so much. I mean, definitely we have to have a couple of follow-ups, because this is just basically for the funding, but also for the education segment, because funding and education are very important for the Women's Federation. Can't say thank you enough, Roslyn, for your expertise and time. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. And Amanda to close us.
So I thank you everyone for coming, and Rosalind, we love you in Ireland. We love you, Rosalind. And I just want to thank you so much. And I think everyone's giving you a big virtual applause there. And honestly, it's amazing. And I know that you won't let anyone get away with anything. You'll be saying, okay, well, what's the check-in? What's the what is it halfway to our 90 days? And I think that accountability partner and that idea that when we can support each other and see things actually moving forward, it's really inspiring, really good. And yeah, it's great. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Fiona, as well, from Ireland, jumping on.
Sorry, Amanda.
Yes.
What I will do is that we need to save the chat, actually. I will collate everything that you've said from the session, and then I will send all that information to you so you can read through it, and it will be a reminder, and you'll see your own commitment that you made, and then we can track whether you did. It's not the punishment, but it's so that it's the accountability. You can track, did you do it, did you not do it? And then you can say, well, what happened that we didn't do it? And great, this is what happened to enable us to do it. And then you learn from everyone else's experience. And that's the key thing, because as I said at the start, the wisdom is right here. All the leaders, you've got a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and it's just looking at how you can shape the organization, especially as everything around us is changing very rapidly. And the organization also needs to change accordingly.
That's right.
To be able to survive and to make the impact that you want for women all over the world. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone. You can just leave. Thank you. Bye.
Thank
Just
you.
your
Bye.
favorite
Thank you
chat
very
with
much.
Amanda or Mitty. Could you say
Yes, for the, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Great technical support there.
Oh.
Worked so well.
chat saved? I'm not sure where it's saved the chat to, but
Yeah.
I think once we log off, it comes onto my computer.
Okay,
Oh,
great.
can we? Okay.
If
I
you
thought
could
we
send it
daren't
to me.
log off yet, but
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Wonderful
much. Thank you.
session. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Marta.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Britta.
bye.
Onwards and upwards, really.
Yeah, great.
Okay. So, Mitty, we can have a chat. I think we probably do need to do the follow-up on the action cycle so that those can be mapped out in more detail.
Yes.
Maybe sooner rather than later when
Maybe 2
everyone's
weeks.
free. In a couple of weeks, just focus in on that.
Yes.
It could just be an hour session. We don't need 90 minutes.
But they love being with you.
That was
Thank you.
brilliant now that everyone's gone. That was so good, Roslyn. I was getting fired up myself.
Raring to go. It's true.
That's the intention. More than anything else, it was for everyone to start to feel more inspired about making the changes and then to feel supported by all the other leaders because we're all in it together, really.
Yeah.
And no one's on their own. And it just, as you know, it's like one step at a time, one step at a time.
Yeah. And then through this plan to see substantially their efforts are rewarded, this is
exactly
the confidence.
Mm.
I think that we're expert at doing events, but I think we need to really look at the finances because this is our weak point,
Mm.
and that's what everyone is struggling with. And even to get a new generation of leadership, they want a bit of more funding in the organization.
Exactly.
It's thinking about the future of the organization as well.
Yeah, we need.
So that's why I'm emphasizing it so much. And then also the education is also that because that's a funding stream, the education as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's another way to,
Not
and also
standalone.
because the UK is out of the EU, but that's often a lot more because I know a lot of people with coaching who used to get funding from the EU. Well, they don't anymore if they're in the UK, but especially for a lot of the European countries, they can still see what funding is available at that level.
Yeah.
Country level, European level.
Yeah, that's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
We're at that stage. And also about registration, we're moving our bank account from Switzerland to Norway. So I think that's where the registration bit came in.
Okay.
That we will get an ID. You need an ID to apply for funding.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So that's where it came from. Not everyone.
But that's great. Yeah, but that's good because that's one of the steps, isn't it? You've got to get the ID so you're set up correctly in order to be able to apply for the funding. All the little steps that need to be in place.
Anyway, thank you so much. Can't say thank you.
Welcome.
Really, because also the way you present it is so pleasant. You feel you're like one of us.
Yeah. You are.
You are one of us.
Team Ireland.
Yeah, I'm on Team Ireland.
Oh, yeah.
But it is possible. I can see a lot of the women are a little fearful and they're not sure they can